I'm sitting between my computer screen, my video games over there, and my TV's up there. You can see them up there. So doing a little different today. Um, so I'm gonna pull up my screen here so you can see that here and do a live one here. So hang on a second here. I'm gonna go back to my channel here and go to this one so I can see a chat here if you guys so choose to chime in. If you do chime in, let me know where you're at. So I can kind of see that there and I'll engage you. So we're talking about, hello, there's two of you there. Leave where you're, type in where you're at so I can know and who I'm talking to. We're going to talk about the 2025 Tiguan. A lot of things happened yesterday with the 2025 Tiguan. Sofan Bay, you got to do a review of the car, and so did Jim Rady of Rady's Rides. So that's kind of how they did it. They had it at a secure location off-site in LA at a warehouse, and they went over the car. Some surprises there, some, in my eyes, some things I'm not happy about, but Volkswagen, Greenville, South Carolina. Hello. I'm just... I'm kind of devastated that they left a lot of things on the table on that car that were allegedly coming. Atlanta, Georgia. Hey, how we doing? So 2025 Tiguan will be here. Oh, in Tennessee, man, that's my golden basket down there. Florida is the other one. 2025 Tiguan was finally revealed yesterday, the U.S. spec. There was a lot of speculation that it was going to be the European one, myself included. There were a lot of people that said it was going to be the Tayron, just they're going to rebadge it as a Tiguan because the Tayron's bigger, has 7 seats. Guess what? This car didn't have 7 seats, and they're not going to offer it. According to Sofan Bay and Jim Rady, they're not going to offer a 7-seater, the third row seat. So, and what that also eliminates is that sliding bench in the second row. The car is about 200 pounds lighter. They're using a new aluminum, the high strength steel and some aluminum in the frame for the MQB Evo platform. So that's going to give the car a little more agility, probably a little more oomph. Yep, no third row at all, at least initially. And that car was a pre-production spec car, so it wasn't actually a production car. So those cars essentially get destroyed and when they're done with them. The things that are different about that car, everything. Okay, I'm also hearing. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go through the trim levels that we allege to know about. Okay, the big thing that didn't get mentioned by either of those guys there, and I don't know if Volkswagen's just being silent, and this is something that's going to come later. They didn't talk about a hybrid engine at all. So all that stuff I told you about a hybrid engine, I'm sorry. Because I thought I had legit credible information, and I guess I didn't. There is not a hybrid on the table as of yet. That could come later in the model year. That could be something that they just say, when I asked some people that are above my manager in our dealership about a hybrid, he said, well, the look they gave him was death. That he mentioned it. So, there's not a plan for a hybrid, I guess, for the U.S. for a little bit. I don't know what the holdup is. I don't know what the reason for that is. They're already making it. Taylor, I will tell you, June is what they're telling us, which means probably May, late May, which I'm a little frustrated with the fact that we're going to be deep in a 2025 model year, almost halfway through the 2025 calendar year, coming out with a 2025 model. Nothing I can do about it. Nothing. Volkswagen doesn't care. Volkswagen does what Volkswagen does. So the delay on that car has been long and ongoing. So it sounds like they're picking up the trims, though. The trims are going to stay the same. SE-R-Line black, SEL-R-Line, and that's going to be the top of the line one. Now, the fact that they didn't mention a hybrid at all plays into the favor of keeping the price down a little bit. Because if they had done a hybrid, which initially I had speculated they were going to do, and I told you guys that there was one coming, an SEL-R-Line as a hybrid, That's going to be just south of 50 grand if you do that car, for them to bring that car here. So maybe they're holding off because they're worried about price structure on this car. I'm not sure. I don't know what the reason is. I don't pretend to know. And I'll tell you, I don't know. The Tiguan S is coming. The rumors, I'll tell you, everything I want to tell you is rumor. Because I'm not going to say anything's confirmed anymore because it always changes. So, the thing that I've heard on the rumor side on the Tiguan S, they're all going to get a 2.0 EA 888 engine. So they're going to get just over 200 horsepower, 201 horsepower. Yeah, and if you get a third row, you're going to need to get front wheel drive. That's the only way you can get a third row in a Tiguan, Taylor, just so you know. 201 horsepower on that car. There's a rumor that it may have ambient lighting, 10-color ambient light display. It's going to get a 12.9-inch screen, allegedly. Everything's alleged now, because I don't believe anything anymore until I see it, because they keep changing stuff. So the 12.9 screen is going to come on the Tiguan S. All of the trims up. The SEL is going to get a 15-inch screen. Gesture control is gone. We know that. When you get that new, bigger radio, that bigger screen, there's no gesture control with that. So, but you do gain, here's the thing you do gain. You gain backlit sliders at the bottom. So you'll be able to control temperature there. I forget what the middle one is, but the home button is in the middle down at the bottom. Your heated and ventilated seats. There's a good chance they may come in the Tiguan S. I don't know. They did it in the Atlas on the base model, but I don't know. That's another thing that may come. Heated and ventilated seats may go through the entire lineup of the Tiguan. Don't know for sure. And I know I keep telling you don't know. But everything we allege we know changes. There's also a rumor that there may be a sunroof option for the Tiguan S. When I heard that, that made me think that maybe there's going to be a Tiguan Launch Edition. This is only my speculation, because if you guys remember the Atlas, if you guys know about the Atlas, it came out in 2018 or 2017 actually. And in 2017, the S model came out first. The Launch Edition came out, and I believe they built either 750 or 1,750 of those units. So essentially, that was an Atlas S with the upgraded radio where you could do Apple CarPlay and Android Auto and a panoramic sunroof. And that was a limited run car. So they may be eyeballing a Launch Edition for the Tiguan. Don't know for sure. Next up will be the SE. The SE is going to have probably the 18-inch wheels, just like it has in the past. The Tiguan S will have probably 17-inch wheels. The SE will probably have 18-inch wheels. The SE will have the 12.9-inch screen as well. They all get the little knob down in the center, console down off to the side there, which is also your mood selector for ambient lighting. So that kind of cements the fact that maybe there's going to be ambient lighting in the Tiguan S, because everything's going to get that little knob. Pretty sure. There's going to be new seat designs, seat colors as well. They really went upscale on the seats. They really went upscale on the interior. They're actually using real wood in the interior of this Tiguan. I'll say that again. They're using real wood in the interior of this new Tiguan. Okay? So that's going to be cool. Ambient lighting goes from the doors. And I believe it's going to be all four doors in some models. Maybe not the back doors in the base models. But ambient lighting is at least going to be in a driver's door and across the dash. Everybody gets a 12.9-inch screen. And I'm going to read some things here, so I'm going to look away. I apologize here. Let's see. Love the new Tiguan have 22 SEL-R-Line. Think about upgrading. If it had hybrid, it would seal the deal. I agree. It would seal the deal for a lot of people. Winchester, Virginia. Awesome. I really want to know the price. We all do. I'm sure that's going to come soon. They're going to announce that price structure because now the car is already revealed in LA. So soon they should be releasing trim levels, pricing. We'll just keep watching for that stuff. They should come up with that fairly quick. And we're looking at June. They're saying June that there'll be at dealerships, which makes me think it'll be May. It'll be the end of May, going into June, sort of around Memorial Day holiday. We might start seeing little stragglers show up at the dealerships. A lot of the dealerships are going to sell out of Tiguans before that. I firmly believe there's going to be a shortage of Tiguans in between now and when this releases. To give you an idea, I have 107 Tiguan's in my pipeline. I believe we just got our last one. We got a Tiguan Wolfsburg. Unless they decide to give us some more in an allocation. And I don't know if they're still doling out allocations or not on a Tiguan. But after this month, I think the allocations of Tiguan's cease. So what your dealer has on the ground now is going to be it. So if you're looking for a Tiguan SEL-R-Line, man, if you're thinking about it as a 2024, you need to find one now, and you need to keep. We sold out. We had a ridiculous number. We had 13 of them, and we sold out. We have 107 Tiguan's in our pipeline. They're all on the ground now. We have 3 Wolfsburgs, almost 90, somewhere near 90, 80 to 90 SE-R-Line Black Editions, and then the rest are going to be Tiguan S and SE. So we have a wide range of front-wheel drive. So I'm looking at you people in Florida. You too, David. You guys are looking at front-wheel drive cars down there in Florida. Remember, Florida is my number 2 state behind Tennessee for people who fly in and drive home. So got a number of front-wheel drive ones. Got a whole ton of all-wheel drive ones. So if you're looking for that third-row seat, I still have them in the front-wheel drive ones. And we definitely make the deals worth your time. The other thing that I will mention, on those Tiguan's, we got the opportunity to get more Tiguan's. That's why we have over 100 of them, because we knew that the gap between what we have on the ground now and in the pipeline and when the new one comes out was going to be long. So there's a lot of dealers out there that aren't going to have Tiguan's come February or March. Probably even, well, that could be probably a good majority of them won't have Tiguan's on the ground. So that's going to be a mess. The other thing that I wanted to say about the Tiguan, the SEL-R-Line Black stays. It comes in black wheel arches, gloss black wheel arches on this one instead of the dull black that all of the cars seem to have. All of the Atlases, the Tiguan's, everything that Volkswagen builds has that dark black, or that kind of matte black wheel arch. This one had a gloss black wheel arch. Gloss black front end. They have a larger front end on this car now with functioning air intakes on the front. Illuminated logo on the front with the LED light bar across the front. I am not sure if that's going to go through all of the trims or just a couple. I know it's going to be in the R-Lines for sure. The rear logo is also going to light up, and there's an LED light bar across the top. But from what I remember about the video, the logo doesn't intersect the light bar. The light bar runs across the top, and the logo's down a little lower below it. Don't quote me on that, because they could change stuff again. Again, this was a pre-production spec car. So LED turn signals on the car as well. LED tail lights. The tail lights look like the Tehran tail lights. And one thing that Jim Rady pointed out, which was really nice, is there's an LED. That LED light bar kind of goes where the gap between the hatch and the tail light assembly on the outside of the car meet. They actually ran that LED kind of around the corner on both sides. So there's a visual line there where it doesn't break off, and there's not a visual gap, so to speak. So the line continues across the back of the car. So they thought about a lot of things. There's also an incorporated X in the taillights that goes into the outside taillight from the hatch taillight, which is pretty cool too. So a lot of lines continue on the car. There's a lot of stuff visually going on with that car. And I know a lot of you don't like it or didn't like it on the GLI. I got a lot of comments about that on the GLI, where they didn't like the fact that the letters were just stuck on the fender with no badge behind it. The R is going to do the same though. The R-Line for the Tiguan is going to look the same. It's just an R-Line badge, or an R-Line R, on the door panel itself on both sides. And there will be an R still on the front. Moving up next from that is the SEL-R-Line. Actually, that's what they showed. I believe that was the one they showed, was an SEL-R-Line. So that's going to have 20s. I believe the SE-R-Line Black will still keep 19s. And there'll be black wheels, all black wheels. The SEL-R-Line has a black, at least the way they showed it, a machine black and silver wheel, heavy on the black. It had a lot of black and a little bit of machine finish on it. And that's a 20-inch wheel. My personal opinion, if you like the SEL-R-Line now, it's classy, it's elegant, it's very well stated. It looks classy. The new one leans heavier on sporty. So it's kind of like if the SEL-R-Line Black and the SEL-R-Line had a baby, and this is what they made. The Tiguan is supposedly going to be bigger than it was last year, a little longer on the wheelbase than it was. Although Jim Rady said something about it shrank 2 inches. The spoiler on the back end was a little bit lower. But we're also hearing about Recaro seats, Recaro style seats in the R-Lines. So they didn't really touch on that. And the car they showed yesterday, those weren't Recaro style seats at all like we've seen before. So I don't know about that. There was also a rumor about a GTI engine being in the R-Lines. Not sure about that. The way it was presented yesterday, there's only one powertrain, that 2.0 EA 888 or 888. Wow. Okay. So there's no change there. That was expected because Volkswagen does. They always come here in pre-production and rumors, and then it comes down here. So they always, there's always a little give and go here. So they do always drop that bar a little bit. So the things that they missed on, hybrid, didn't mention it at all. The dual charging, wireless chargers side by side, they're not doing that for the US spec, at least from what we saw yesterday. It's going to be in the center console, kind of next to your thigh here, on the side like a holster. That's what they kind of showed there. You will get more storage space though, more than you did in the previous Tiguan. And then also they're giving you that Golf R GTI armrest in the middle. That's kind of a half armrest. It extends, it locks up, or it locks down. So that's going to be a nice thing. Yeah, 20 to 40 or more horsepower definitely would have been killer. So let me look at some more comments here. Let's see here. Hey, David, how we doing? Let's see. Yeah, the other thing that we're adding, massage seats up front. And the way Jim Rady talked about it, or I can't remember if it was Sofan Bay or Jim Rady. I watched both of their videos multiple times. The massage seats don't feel like the cheap massage seats where it's just a pinch or like a kneading. They actually feel like good massage seats. Those are coming to the Tiguan SEL-R-Line. Heated rear seats are now coming. Because if you notice, that was a miss on the SEL, the 2022 up to 2024. You only had heated and ventilated seats up front, but you had nothing in the back. And it wasn't consistent with like the Jetta or the Atlas or the Atlas Cross Sport, because they have heated seats in the back. Yeah, no hybrid at launch in 2025 is a big miss. VW needs to grab onto the fence. Customers have been between gas and electric. You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. So there's two things that make me wonder what's going on there. One is maybe Volkswagen's not ready to do a hybrid for the U.S. market yet. I don't know. Maybe they think our driving habits are a little more aggressive, a little more, or they're just different than a European driver, which I doubt. I highly doubt. Or maybe they're having a tiff with the EPA on regulations and guidelines. I'm going to lean more towards the second and think it's more about the EPA and their guidelines that they're trying to meet to get this car in the U.S. as a hybrid. I don't know. I'm really disappointed that they didn't do a hybrid. I'm really disappointed about that. And the third row, sounds like they're not going to do that. I don't know. Everything I saw said that there was going to be a third row. The car was going to be based off of Tehran. The Tehran was big enough for a third row, which made me think we were going to get a car somewhere. I thought we were going to have a car that was going to compete with the Santa Fe. Kind of like, if you guys understand, the Hyundai Santa Fe before 2024 or whichever model year this bricky one they have is now. I think it's a 2024. It might be a 2025. That car grew in size exponentially. That car now competes with the Atlas, and it never did before because it was a smaller car. So they made that car huge. They made it blocky, but it's a 3-row car. just like their Hyundai Palisade and the Kia Telluride. And if you didn't know, those are sister companies. So, does anyone else have any questions about the Tiguan? Because I'm looking at my screen here. I want to make sure I go over some stuff here. IQ Drive is going to stay on that car. They're going to come out with 3 new colors. We've seen 2 of them already. That's that Sandstone Uni, which was on the car that they revealed yesterday. It looks white. It makes me think it's along the lines of that Monument Gray on the Jetta. It's a white gray, not a gray. It's not like a Nardo gray. I thought it was going to be more like a pure gray or a Nardo gray or something like that, or a Dolphin gray that they have over in Europe. But no, it's more of a whitish, almost maybe a taupe kind of color. Looked really sharp on that car. Avocado green metallic is allegedly coming to the Tiguan. So now you'll be able to get that on a Cross Sport, an Atlas, and a Tiguan. Monterey blue is also coming to the Tiguan, allegedly. Again, I'm saying allegedly. Monterey blue is that blue that's on the Jetta, and it looks sick. To me, it's my new favorite color. Monterey blue looks sick on the Jetta with black wheels. I'm just saying. That is a sick looking car. And we had a GLI that was Monterey blue that just went, man, that's a good looking blue with the red accents from the GLI. So those are our 3 colors there. 17-inch, 18-inch, 19-inch, and 20-inch wheels allegedly on this car for the different trims. Head-up display is allegedly coming to the SEL-R-Line. 10-color ambient light, supposedly on the S, the SE, and the SEL-R-Line. More than likely will have the 10-color ambient light. And then it's going to go to 30-color ambient light on the SEL-R-Line. These are all just alleged things here. The launch edition is my own personal hunch, because I was told that there was a good chance that there's an option for a sunroof in a Tiguan S. So that makes me think there might be a launch edition. I'm just going to call it a launch edition. And then early exit warning, which is already on Cross Sport and Atlas, is now coming to the Tiguan as well. Park Assist Plus. I haven't talked about this a lot, but the Park Assist Plus is coming on the id.buzz. I believe it comes on the 2025 ID4. It's on the ID7 when that shows up, and then it's going to be on the Tiguan SEL-R-Line. So that's another rumor there, but that's the one where you stand outside with your cell phone and you can park your car without you in it. That's going to be pretty cool. So, let's see. Light assist, automatic high beams and low beams. They made that standard on the Atlas 2025s. All of them have it. I don't know if that's going to be trim specific for 2025 on the Tiguan or not, but I'm being told that that's coming as well for the Tiguan. The SEL-R-Line already had it. The 2.0T, yeah, the EA 888, that's the engine in that car. They are expanding the airbag suite as well. So now there's going to be 10 airbags in the car. There's going to be side airbags. There's going to be knee airbags. There's an airbag in the center console for both driver and passenger. So that's new. Easy open hatch. That may show up down the trim levels instead of just being on the SEL-R-Line. Heated rear seats I mentioned already. 12.9-inch screen I already mentioned. 15-inch screen on that top one. Excuse me. And then a Harman Kardon audio system with 12 speakers. So that's replacing Fender. The real wood interior is throughout the lineup, I think. And the illuminated logos is throughout the lineup. Hang on, guys. I'm going to have to take a swig of my drink here because I'm getting dusty throat here. Hang on. Okay, so that radio is going to be called an MIB4. Matrix LEDs, radio silence. So I didn't think that was coming because they keep talking about Matrix LEDs. And there's some type of rule where they're not allowed in the States. And supposedly they were coming. And something happened. Not sure what it was. So Matrix LEDs look like they got the axe. The dual wireless chargers side by side up front for the 2 front passengers got axed. and the 7-seater option got axed. So it looks like that stuff's all gone. Tiguan's going to be a sharp car. We're going to sell a ton of them. There's no doubt. We will sell a ton of them because it looks very Audi-esque, very Audi-ish. They took all the boxiness away from it and gave it curves and gave it a little bit of sex appeal. It's going to bring all the boys to the yard. It's definitely going to move some Tiguans. So this is going to be their go-to segment. So I'm done with Tiguan unless someone's got questions on that there. I'm going to go back to my screen here so I can see questions here. Let's see here. Hopefully I put a third row in it. Yeah. Let's see here. So, next up, I'm going to talk about Atlas. I got a little list here, so I'm going to go to that. Atlas, we've talked about Atlas before. 2025 Atlas and Atlas Cross Sport. So I've gone through these before. We all know about this. The new color, the avocado green, comes later in the year. I have in my pipeline an avocado green Cross Sport. I'll be sure to bring you a video of that one when I get it. I have an avocado green Atlas SEL with French roast, leatherette interior, and captain's chairs. I think that's going to look sharp. So I'll bring you that as well. The new color, the Mountain Lake Blue. That color, I have 2 Atlases currently on the ground with that, and I have a Cross Sport coming with that. Let's see here. Yeah, the Tiguan will probably slaughter the Taos, but the price point on the Taos, they keep tweaking that. That Taos is going. Supposedly, this new change, this refresh on the Taos is going to change the product mix or the buyer demographics a little bit. Evidently, they're looking to get a few more male buyers for the Taos because the Taos is heavy in the female sector. Excuse me. So they gave it a more masculine jawline. I want to see that one in person because the pictures aren't doing it justice for me. I'm not sure I like the new headlight design. But again, not my problem. I sell them. I bring you information on them. I tell you about them. I show you them. I teach you things about them. It'll grow on me. Every new model year, the stuff grows on you. So I bring you that stuff, and I'm sorry, I'm reading on the screen. I'm reading up there. So I'm reading in 2 places, guys. The Taos, more masculine stuff, more horsepower. So I think that more horsepower is going to translate to faster, and then they also get rid of the DSG in the Taos. So back to the Atlas, the changes we know of, those 2 new colors, not Monterey Blue, Mountain Lake Blue and Avocado Green is available through the whole lineup, with the exception of the SE. I believe you can't get the Avocado Green on the SE trim, either the Cross Sport or the Atlas. You have to do SE Tech or higher. SE Tech keeps the options that it currently has: captain's chairs, black wheels, or a sunroof. The SEL Premium on both the Cross Sport and the Atlas get massage seats for driver and passenger side. So the changes on the Atlas for 2025, the SEL Premium, there were only 3 things: 45-watt charger instead of a 15-watt charger. Perforated headrests would do absolutely nothing, but they look sharper. They look nicer in the car. And then the massage seat on the passenger side. So what happened is they went from a 3-seat memory to a 2-seat memory with the massage button. So now you have 2-seat memory and a massage button on the driver's side, and you have just a massage button on the passenger side, but you do keep power up, down, forward, and back. No power lumbar. They did minor changes to the Atlas Premium. So it didn't change the price that much. Destination charge didn't change on either one. Speaking of the new colors, I kind of skipped over something. I was talking about the Avocado. I have 2 of those coming in a full-size Atlas, and I have a Cross Sport that's coming in Avocado Green. Keep in mind, now for the SEL Premium on both trims, or actually you've always been able to get it on the Crossport, but now on the full-size Atlas, you can get pure gray on an SEL Premium. And they brought Shetland beige through the entire lineup. You can do Shetland beige on pretty much every color of car now for the Atlas. Shetland beige with avocado green. Shetland beige with mountain lake blue. Shetland beige with pure gray. Not sure how that's going to look, but I was skeptical about the Crossport when it came pure gray with dark beige, or even the cinnamon on the SEL, and it looks stunning on both of them. So that's a great color combo. So I don't think the Shetland's going to look bad at all. Another thing, excuse me. Another thing about the Atlas and Shetland beige. Last year in 2024, the only way you get Shetland beige on the SEL Atlas was to get it in red or get it in black. This year, you can get Shetland beige on a white Atlas, the Opal White Pearl, which I'm sure there's a lot of people out there. They were so frustrated because people love the white. White is our #1 color at our dealership. Shetland beige is our #1 interior without fail. We call it the gold standard. It's the gold standard. So in fact, I have 2 SEL Premiums on the full-size Atlas that have just landed yesterday. 2 different ones, one with a bench, one with captain's chairs. Both were already sold. They were sold for months before they were into my pipeline at a factory status. It's factory approved, and we already had them sold. So I do have a 3rd one that's coming, and so far no one's reserved it. But at the time I'm making this, that could change. It's an SEL Premium with a bench and Shetland beige interior with those massage seats. So that one's going to be available. I have a Mountain Lake blue one with Shetland beige that is coming, and captain's chairs. That one's available too. And then I have another white SEL with Shetland beige coming. And if you guys watch my videos fairly regularly, I mentioned in the video for the white SEL with Shetland beige that we're going to make another video of that with the digital mirror. That is a thing. Volkswagen actually has that. We're going to actually install it on this car, and then I'm going to make another video of that so you can see it. I'm curious how that's going to work. I want to show it to you guys, and then maybe they'll start putting them in it. But the digital mirror, I think, is going to be a huge help for this car, because there's a lot of buyers who buy this car or are looking at this car, and they're comparing it to your Tahoes, your Yukons, your Denali's, your XT6s, your Escalades. They're looking at this car and comparing it to these other brands that have these higher marks. So we need to start having higher mark type stuff in our cars. So I'm excited for that. We'll eventually get that one installed, and I'll make a video of it for you. Unfortunately, my service department's busy, and we got to fit it in between customers. So, and it's not an easy process. It's about a 3-hour process. So it'll take a little bit, but we'll get a video made of that one for you. Moving on. I talked about the Crossport. I talked about the Atlas. Let's see. VW is way beyond in trouble, and I've been driving them since then. Let's see here. Perfect. SEL Taos was really nice looking, but the 2025 Facer. Paul, I'm not going to argue with you, but like I said, they always grow on me. We'll see it. I'll have to see it in person. The new tail light design is kind of like the Jetta design. The LED lights on the back where everything comes across the back of the LED light bar. We'll have to see. I didn't really think I was going to like the Jetta, but seeing it in person, man, it blew me away. Okay, so let's see. So we talked about Atlas Crossport. ID4. Okay, ID4, you guys all know, everybody knows, they're on stop sale right now. They have been, and it's due to the door handle issue with the ID4, water getting into the door handle there, and the car door can come open. Not a good thing, and they're working on a fix for that. So don't know when that fix comes, but they are working on a fix for that. The 2025 ID4, all of the cars, regardless of small battery or big battery, are getting the bigger radio now. So they're not getting that first gen ID4 radio that had the non-backlit sliders anymore. So they're all going to get the 12.9-inch screen. and I think the Pro S Plus will get the 15-inch screen. Not 100% sure on that yet, but they're formulating that plan. Let's see, id.buzz. This is a cool one. id.buzz. I have one literally on a truck right now. We're one of 2 dealers in the St. Louis market that are getting that their ID4 is actively on a truck coming to the dealership. We'll have ours on Saturday. Let's see. So the id.buzz that's on the truck is a Pro S. No, sorry. It's a first edition. Sorry, it's a first edition all-wheel drive. So it's already sold, but I'm going to make videos of it before the customer takes delivery of it. So you'll be able to see that. That video I posted of the trainer's car was a Pro S Plus. These cars are going to be pretty close to the same. The Pro S, the first edition, I should say, is pretty decked out pretty similarly to the Pro S Plus. Just won't have a 360 camera. It keeps the roof, the electrochromic roof. I hope I'm saying that right. I think that's what that's called, electrochromic. And then they all have the dune interior, and they have bench seats rather than captain's chairs. So none of my buzzes, I don't think any of the buzzes, the first 9 buzzes we have coming to us have captain's chairs, but all of our blue ones, our Cabana blue with white uppers, are all sold. We had 3 of them, and they're all spoken for. So I have a Mahi green left, 2 energetic oranges, a Metro silver, and a black, deep black pearl. And the black pearl and the Metro silver are not first editions. Those are Pro S's, rear wheel drive. Those both have benches as well. So it's going to be interesting to see how these work, how this dynamic works when these things land on the ground. Because I have a feeling that when people start seeing these on the roads, if you're one of the people driving one, you're going to be an ambassador for Volkswagen. They're going to stop you. People are going to flash you the peace sign. People are going to get you to pull over, take pictures with you. You're going to have fun with this car, showing out. And today, Volkswagen announced that Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias, was the first buyer of a id.buzz in the U.S. We knew that was going to happen. It was going to be him or Jay Leno. So he got took delivery of his, I guess, today. So I haven't read the whole press release, but he was one of the first ones. He's the first one in the U.S. to get one. So super cool looking car. Super fun. Not for everyone. Super functional. Huge amount of space. Huge. Huge amount of space. I have 6 of them that are still available to reserve, and they're going to be here, and they're going to be here, the latest I think is March. So they're going to trickle in at first, and then we'll get more. Jetta. I want to tell you what, guys, Jetta, I'm blown away by how popular that car is and how well it's selling, because it's a sedan and no one has a sedan anymore. The only cars in the class are Altima, Civic, Corolla, Jetta, of course, and then maybe an Elantra. And don't shoot me if one of those manufacturers has already stopped making those, but Volkswagen is considering offering the Jetta. I'm pretty sure it's still their plan to offload the Jetta, and I can't say it enough. I think it's a mistake to do that. Yeah, the Taos is the same size. It's an SUV. I don't care. There's people who don't want an SUV. They want a sedan. And yes, that market is shrinking. But here's the thing. The market for sedan cars, yes, it's shrinking. But it's also plateauing and staying flat because there are people, that's all they can afford. Not everybody can afford an SUV, and most SUVs start with a 3 or a 4 in the price tag. A Jetta, the only Jettas that start with a 3 are the Jetta SEL and the Jetta GLI. 2 cars. The Jetta SEL is 31 grand, just under 32, and the Jetta GLI is 35 grand, and it's an Autobahn. Those are fully loaded cars. I think they're priced about right. I don't think anything's overpriced in our market, because you look at the other manufacturers, we're still cheaper than pretty much everybody else in the segment. But the Jetta has been selling like crazy. It looks sharp. The colors look amazing. The cars look stunning. We just got our first Jetta SE that didn't have a sunroof in it, so we now have 2. All of ours have come with a sunroof, to the point where everybody thought it was standard. It's not standard. Neither are the black wheels. But the fact that they put Jetta GLI wheels on a Jetta SE for 2025 Absolute brilliant. Changes the car altogether. God, that makes that car sexy. We are selling Jettas hand over fist, guys. We're selling Jettas like crazy. Um, so Jetta GLI. With that being said, I'm moving on to Jetta GLI. It's the only way you can get a manual transmission. You get the 2.0 engine. Sounds great. Looks great. Great color combos, especially that blue, that Monterey blue, and that Monument Gray. Those are two great colors. We're selling a lot of GLIs. We're selling more GLIs than we ever did before, just because they look sharper. And we have a lot more on the ground. We're down to, I want to say, 40 some Jettas on the ground. That's including GLIs, from a high of almost 60. Let's see, Taos. We're whittling down our 2024 inventory. We have a couple of SE Blacks left. And I talked about this one time before. SE Blacks, if you're actively searching for an SE Black at your local dealer, if you're not near me, if you search it as an SE Black, 9 times out of 10, you're not going to find it on their website. It's going to end up just being the most expensive SE on their listings, because there's something with the algorithm of the programming that Volkswagen sends to these websites for these templates that host the websites that host these. They're sent templates. There's software code for templates. The SE Black doesn't shake out in that template. So the only way that those get listed is they're just regular Taos SEs. They're not SE Blacks. When they're actually, the SE Black is actually a different trim. Now, some of the dealerships are probably getting that fixed. I think we might have gotten that fixed on ours, but for the longest time, they were just buried in our SEs, our Taos SEs. So if you're looking for that, you might have to do a little harder searching, maybe look at actual pictures, and make sure you're not looking at stock photos, because our website does stock photos, and a lot of websites do stock photos to begin with before the actual pictures get loaded. And you should be able to tell the difference between a stock photo and what a real photo looks like, because the stock photos look like computer renderings, animations, things like that, or illustrations, I guess is the word, not real photos of the car. So Taos SE Black stays for 2025. We haven't seen any pictures of what that's going to look like for 2025, but I think that's going to be a sharp car, especially with the more horsepower. They did get rid of the DSG transmission in the Taos all-wheel drive. So now you won't have the lurchiness, the jumpiness that you have with the all-wheel drive DSG. The throttle response is going to be a little more level. Yeah, I said it. The front-wheel drive and the all-wheel drive different, dynamically different. And it's because of that different transmission. Tiguan I already covered. ID.7, there's a rumor that that's coming back, that they will be bringing that towards the end of 2025. It'll be a 2026. I have a video somewhere in my feed there where I was at the Chicago Auto Show and looked at that one. That one had the 12.9-inch screen as well. It was a sharp-looking car. I just don't know what the market will support for that car, especially since EV tax credits are not available on the Buzz or the ID.7 when those come here. I don't know what that means for the market. Also, with this new administration coming in January, there's a lot of talk that he may pull EV tax credits altogether. So again, don't know what that looks like. But your manufacturers, including Volkswagen, have definitely been watching this scenario and kind of waiting to see how to react. So now they know who's going to be in office, so they may pivot and change and go another direction. We may see more hybrid stuff. We may see no hybrid stuff. Don't know yet, but we know that everybody's been watching the election and wanted to know how it ended up, and now we know. So with that being said, I've gone through the entire lineup there. Do you guys have any questions at all? Let's see here. So Taylor, if you're still watching there, I'm sorry, I just saw your question there. What is the basic price for the Atlas? The basic price for the Atlas is right at 40 grand. I want to say it might be 41 and some change now, because it keeps ticking up for the Atlas SE. It was $39,995 at one point, but I think it's ticked up a little bit. David, you said the id.buzz needs more range. I agree with you, but there's a lot of people out there that just aren't going to care. This is not the id.buzz in my eyes, the way I see it. There's a lot of talk, a lot of chatter between salespeople and different people out there, whether this car is going to sell, whether this car is going to be a hit or not. I think it's going to be an absolute hit. I think I put it in a category as a Cybertruck. And before everybody spits out their coffee or whatever and says, "What Cybertruck? What are you talking about?" Listen and hear me out. The Cybertruck is not bought by someone who says, "I need a truck." If any of you got a friend that says, "I need a truck," and they go buy a Cybertruck, they need to have their head examined. It's not a truck. They buy a Silverado, they buy a F-150, they buy a Sierra, they buy a AT4, they buy F-150, they buy a 1500, a Ram 1500, they buy a Bighorn, they buy all that stuff. They're not buying a Cybertruck to go off to use on the farm and haul things. If they need an electric pickup truck to work on the farm, do the dailies, they're probably buying a Rivian. They're buying a Silverado EV. They're buying an F-150 Lightning. They're not buying a Cybertruck for that. The Cybertruck buyer is a buyer who buys it for status, just because it's a cool collectible, just because it's cool to say you have one, and it's cool to drive around and watch everybody stare and point and look at you and take pictures and talk to you about it. The id.buzz is more of the same. Yes, that price is a little higher, but man, they got to make a profit on an EV. They can't sell everything at fire sale prices and then close plants and do all of that stuff. It's not going to work. So the id.buzz, same kind of deal. It's probably worth every penny of it. It's going to get you noticed. It's going to get people to stop and talk to you. It's going to get you people racing up beside you, flashing peace signs, pulling you over. "Hey, can I take a picture of your car? Can I take a picture of you with your car? Can I talk to you about it? Where'd you get it? How much did you pay for it? How much does it charge? How much does it do?" They're going to be full of questions. Every single person out there that buys a Buzz is going to be an ambassador for that car. Just like the Cybertruck people. "Hey, I can load all this in there. It's got a powered lift gate. It's got this, it's got that." But it's not a practical car for the everyday buyer. This is the same kind of deal. This is going to trigger emotions, nostalgia, collectability, or collectors, influencers, famous people. They're going to have it just because it's cool to have. So Jay Leno's going to at least have one, probably 5 or 6. Fluffy's probably going to have 5 or 6. They're going to be all over in Hollywood. I promise you. They'll be all over Southern California. And speaking of Southern California, the California van, maybe they decide to bring that back. The California XL in the id.buzz. Don't know. They don't talk about it. So there's all kinds of cool things that you can do with that car. There's a niche for that car. So it will be sold. It will go to certain people. And even electric companies out there, your electricians. The companies that go do your lighting, put cameras in, install electric outside your house and all that stuff. They're buying Teslas. They're buying Cybertrucks. They'll buy Buzzes. They'll use them for their fleet. What better way to promote your business than to have an id.buzz with their name plastered down the side of it as an electrician? Installing chargers, installing outdoor lighting, lot lighting, parking, solar, whatever. It's wide open. So there's a lot of people that will buy that car. It's not just the everyday people that car is built for. It's built, yeah. You get what I'm saying. Does anybody else have any questions? I want to make sure I have all the questions answered here. AJ Cap, are you still in the conversation? He made a comment up here that VW is beyond in trouble, and I've been driving them since 1998, mainly GTIs. I think Volkswagen is going to be fine. It's just everybody has a come to Jesus moment at one time in their life, and it's his first time for Volkswagen. I think they'll come to some type of agreement. They've already talked about concessions with the union over in Germany. Where okay, so Volkswagen is the largest employer in Germany. That's a lot of people that they would have to cut loose. And it's in Germany's best interest to help Volkswagen. And I'm not saying that as an opinion or as a request or anything like that. I'm just saying politics. Germany can't afford to let Volkswagen falter over there. I mean, Volkswagen's not going to falter, first of all. You've heard that saying, too big to fail. They're not. They're not in that category. They just need to make adjustments. They're just old school. They're not competitive with all of the upstarts like your Rivian, your BYD, your Tesla. All these upstarts, man, they had nothing to lose. Of course, they're going to kick their teeth in. And the Chinese manufacturers are coming in way cheaper. They flood the market with cheaper cars. They're not necessarily inferior. They're just cheap. They make them cheaper. They have cheaper labor laws. They have cheaper stuff. That's how to get to that. So Volkswagen will be just fine. They just got to make adjustments. If it means closing a plant, maybe it does. That doesn't put them, they'll be fine. And the U.S. market will be fine. We have a factory here in Mexico and here in the U.S. So we'll be just fine. All of our cars come from either Mexico or Chattanooga at this point, with the exception of the Golf GTI, the Golf R, and the id.buzz, and soon the ID.7. Those 4 cars come from Germany, and they may make an adjustment at Chattanooga. They may double the size of the plant. They may do something else to tweak that. They may alter production a little bit. Plus, the Puebla plant, from another rumor that I've heard, is they're working on some electrification stuff there. So allegedly, Cupra will eventually be coming out of Puebla as well. And those of you that don't know what Cupra is, it's another Volkswagen brand. It's a spin-off of Seat, which is the Spanish brand, spelled S-E-A-T like seat. But they're all electric, and they're essentially performance EVs. So eventually that plan is to bring those to the U.S. And speaking of another EV and a spin-off, Scout. Scout is the U.S. version. I really think with this partnership with Rivian, that was a thing that I didn't mention. This partnership with Rivian, it's not necessarily a partnership, but Volkswagen's investing up to $5.8 billion. They initially put $1 billion in. They bumped it by $0.8 billion. It was $1 billion initially, with them allotting up to $5 billion in this joint venture. But they since have added another $8.8 billion to that number, to that pot. So the big thing that's going to come out of Rivian, this partnership, is going to be better software for these EVs, for these cars. Volkswagen really needs that shot in the arm. They need help with the software. Their software has gotten eons better than it has been, but it still needs improvement. It still needs longevity and things of that nature that they're still working out. So this partnership with Rivian, or joint venture, whatever you want to call it, is a good thing. And I think you're going to see a lot of good products come out of Rivian as well. And it may end up being a full-on Volkswagen acquires Rivian kind of thing. That's a possibility. So it could happen. The other thing I wanted to talk about was Scout. Scout is coming. Their models are going to show up in 2027. They're going to be 2027 models that come out in 2026, I believe. They're currently building a plant in South Carolina. And a change that they did make was they were going to be strictly EVs for pickup trucks and SUVs. And now they're doing extended range EVs, which means they're going to pair them electric with a gas motor. So they're essentially hybrids. So we're going to see that take shape here. The one drawback to that for a person who sells Volkswagens is the fact that they're doing direct to consumer and not going through dealerships. They're not going to have dealerships for that. Excuse me. And the dealerships are not happy about that, but there's not really a whole lot they can do. They can sue, and they can sue, and they can sue, but that's pretty much all they can do, and it probably won't ever change anything. Scout's going to be a direct-to-consumer outfit. Another thing that did change just recently, in the last week, Pablo de C, has decided to leave the company. Not surprised by that. Volkswagen has a kind of 2-year revolving door on their CEOs, it seems like. And I might be exaggerating when I say 2 years, but it's not a surprising thing. Let's see here. Yeah. Let's see. The id.buzz may be built in Mexico. That's a rumor I hadn't heard. Someone just typed it in up there. That's David. He has it ear to the ground. He has contacts, so I would call that credible. And it makes logical sense though too, because these EVs need help being built on North American soil. Anytime you have an EV, it should be built on North American soil if it's going into the North American market. And that's the other thing. If it's a North American built, at least for now, as of right now, they can sidestep tariffs. If it comes from Germany, slapped with a tariff. Volkswagen's definitely watching for that. The GTI Golf R, not immune to that. And also, I did realize I kind of glazed over. I missed the GTI and Golf R there. Someone commented up there. For 2025, the Golf R gets a horsepower bump. I believe it's 13 horsepower that it's adding. And there's going to be 2 versions of the Golf R. Golf R is going to be the Mark 8.5. I almost said MK 8.5. That would have made everybody cringe. Mark 8.5. The second version is going to be a black edition, so a Golf R black edition. And I think, from what I saw online, and there's no telling what's true and what's not on these online forums and things, these videos that you see. Sounds funny because I make videos, but it looked like the interior was was downgraded in the black edition, so they're not doing the leather seats. Don't know this for sure, but the video I saw, it looks like they were doing cloth seats, the Recaro seats, with the hole in the kind of the headrest, behind the headrest here. Was a different design, and the seat was manual for that Golf R, which would kind of be a bummer for me because I'm digging that Golf R Black Edition. I love the look of it, but I'm not giving up the leather interior, the heated seats and that stuff, the heated steering wheel and all that. I'm not interested in downgrading to get that black look. So I'll just put black wheels on one if I get one. I may keep my car. I don't know. I'm at 37,000 miles on the car, and I'm wishing I had something else for a daily driver simply because of the miles that I'm putting on it. So if any of you are interested in my car, I might be selling. Anyway, I kid. Golf R and GTI are going to be exciting to see. Illuminated front logo, illuminated front light bar. The GTI in Europe is getting a horsepower bump. In the US, it stays the same. Reason for that, 3 letters, EPA. Not doing it in the States because it changes things. It changes the cadence of the car to do a horsepower bump in the US. So rather than mess with all that and get approvals and change, I think it might have even had to do with the gearing of the car. They just left it alone. So the GTI stays the same. And as you guys all probably know, this is the last model year. This current 2024 model year is the last year for the manual gearbox on both the Golf R and the GTI. Next year, 2025, everything's a DSG. It's all DSG. So if you're interested in a manual, get it now. The only manual that's going to be left in model year 2025 is the GLI as a manual. That is it across the board. So that's how that plays out. Let's see here. Yeah, David, you're not wrong. The lawyers will be rich. They definitely will. Let's see. Hi, Jessica. I saw that was you that asked about the 25-hour black. Yeah, I guess I just addressed that. I'm loving that lapis blue, though. The blue is my color, I think. I think I would do black. But, man, when we had our Atlas, some of you guys followed me on my Jack Sparrow Instagram page. When I had that up and I was posting a lot. It's a good-looking car. Man, but black is so hard to keep clean, number one. And when it's clean, it shows water spots. And when it's clean, if you keep it clean, it shows swirl marks unless you ceramic coated, PPF coat, the whole thing. And I hate swirl marks, but man, I don't know. It's a lot of work to keep a black car looking good. Um, so I think I might stick with the blue, and I did a half. I did a half PPF, half nose PPF on my Golf R. Knowing what I know now, I would go and do the whole body cover going forward, and I wouldn't wait. I waited. I think I put 5,000 miles, somewhere maybe between 5 and 8,000 miles on my car before I did the PPF. I shouldn't have waited. Let's see here. Do you think, let's see. Hi, brother, do you think the Cooper will be in the U.S. market next year? Absolutely not. No, that would be too quick. I think by the end of the decade is what they were saying. So that puts it at 2029, 2028. Man, that sounds like a long time. But I don't think that's going to be anytime close. Let's see. All 5 of my GTIs have been black. Yeah, they look good. Did you PPF treat them or anything like that, AJ? VW needs help in the ventilated seats. Not that impressive. Well, David, you're not wrong. It's just a fan. So, I mean, technically they are ventilated, but most people in their mind, when they hear ventilated, they think air conditioned. Not the same. Ventilated means fan. Air conditioned means cool. They don't cool at all. And that's the other thing. The id.buzz will have all of that. They will have ventilated seats in those. And at least the first edition and the Pro S Plus. Yeah, you're not wrong, AJ. But I'm a busy man. I don't have the time to baby it like I used to. Doing these videos and doing all the stuff I do at the dealership now, I just don't have time. I'm at a point now where I almost need to hire an assistant to help me at the dealership. It's kind of cool, but at the same time, I have a guy at the dealership that details my car for me. So he's one of our porters. When he's not working, I'll have him detail my car for me. He does a really good job on it. So that's what I have for now. But let's see. Anybody else have any questions out there? Because I'm getting a little long in the tooth. I'm over an hour here. Let's see here. I'm making sure I didn't miss anything. So if you guys haven't already, the people that are still in there, type where you're at. So I've had Tennessee. I've had a couple people from Virginia, one from Georgia. And I know David's in Florida. And Jessica, you're out in California. Hamza, where are you? If you're still in there. David, I'm not sure what you're referring to when you say the spider straps. That's kind of news to me. Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Is it snowing up there? I heard something that it was snowing up there around Chicago and that Milwaukee was getting hit. David, what are spider straps? Oh, no, we don't. No, that's news to me. For the longest time, the hard thing for us when I first started there was the techs would keep forgetting to pull the transport blocks. But we figured that out. So, does anyone else have any questions? I would keep looking at my phone, but it disappears off the phone so fast I have to look up there. So I touched on everything there. If no one has any other questions there, I'm going to wrap this up here pretty quick. To review, Tiguan, no hybrid, no dual charger, no third row for the 2025 Tiguan. 2025 Atlas, new colors, green and Mountain Lake blue. Shetland beige is available on the SEL trim, on the full-size Atlas through all of the color combinations. The captain's chair center cup holder setup, for whatever reason, we had cars come in that were going to have that, and then they kind of pulled that. Not sure what that is. It might be supplier delays or something like that. But sometime this year, I presume there's going to be a captain's chair cup holder apparatus. And I'm sure since the Atlas hasn't really changed since 2018 on that interior of the seat construction, that those are going to be backwards compatible to any of you guys that have Atlases that are older, 2018, 2019, 2020, 2021, 22, 23, 24. It's going to be compatible to all of them. Cross Sport gets the new colors as well. The avocado green and mountain lake blue. The SEL-R-Line black. That was one thing that I didn't touch on. Comes for the Cross Sport for 2025. It replaces the SEL-R-Line that was in 2024. I don't know if that's new wheels or if it's going to be the same wheels painted black, but all of the chrome on the car is going to be blacked out. We haven't seen images of that really yet, but I suspect that two colors are going to look really, really sharp on this car. Avocado green, mountain lake blue, and then that pure gray, that's going to be the third choice. Those are going to look really sharp. Now keep in mind, they keep Kingfisher blue. So there's two blues for the Cross Sport, and I think that the SEL-R-Line black is going to look sharp on that car too. And Aurora red would also look sharp. Or they could limit it like they do the Tiguan to certain colors, but so far it seems wide open. Because the order banks looks like you can actually put pretty much any color on that car. And keep in mind too, when I'm talking about these exterior colors and interior colors, the exterior colors align on both the Atlas Cross Sport and the Atlas, the full-size Atlas, but the interior colors do not. The only colors that's consistent on both trims is the Titan Black Leatherette, which is the diamond stitch that comes on the SE and the SE Tech. Once you get out of the SE Tech to the SEL, all your colors change. French Roast is only available on the Atlas SEL, whereas on the Cross Sport, dark beige is a two-tone black and dark beige color that comes on the SE and the SE Tech trim. It changes to cinnamon leather on the SEL, and it's only on the SEL-R-Line. And then you have crystal gray, which is only on the SEL and SEL-R-Line on the Cross Sport. And then you have, what is it called? Chalk and Titan Black for the SEL Premium Cross Sport, or Titan Black with blue underlay for the SEL Premium Cross Sport. Whereas on the full-size Atlas SEL Premium R-Line, the two colors you get are Shetland Beige, which has a kind of a white contrast stitch and some piping, or Titan Black with silver underlay. Those are the only two for the SEL Premium R-Line. So they kind of trick that out a little bit. They kind of fool people because people want Shetland Beige on the Cross Sport and people want chalk in the Atlas. So it's kind of convoluted there. And then on the Tiguan, all new colors are coming. We talked about that. The Uni Gray, Avocado Green Metallic, which is the same on the Cross Sport and the Atlas, and then Monterey Blue, which is on the Jetta. The Jetta's new colors, Monument Gray and Monterey Blue. The Taos has the bright moss gray. They're doing Monterey Blue for the new color. Gone is Dust Blue, but Cornflower Blue stays. Let's see. I think Pure Gray is gone from the Taos as well, and they're replacing it with Monument Gray. So you can get Monument Gray on the Taos, and that gets the new front end. The SE Black stays. The SE Black stays as front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, and the DSG transmission for the Taos is gone. Tiguan goes to a 2.0 EA 888 motor, 201 horsepower, which is 17 more horsepower than the current Tiguan. And then, what am I missing? Oh, id.buzz. id.buzz first editions are coming out. Our first one's on the truck currently as I speak. On its way to the dealership. Should be here on Saturday. That customer's probably going to pick up Monday or Tuesday. So I'll make videos of that car before it goes. And then ID4s. There's no word on ID4s or repair for the ID4s yet. So there's that. And then the 2025s. I think we just got notifications on the changes to the 2025s. So doesn't look like anybody has any questions there. Do you expect a big change? Q Wade says a big change for the crossboard in 2026. Yes and no. The reason I say yes is because they're saying in 2026 Atlas and crossboard get a complete redesign. That being said, the timing is where I say yes and no. Yes, if the 2026 model is the refreshed Atlas and Atlas crossboard. No, if the 2026 redesign on both the Atlas and the crossboard comes out as a model year 2027, which I'm starting to think they may do that. So the Atlas that they come out with, that new one with the flush handles and the boxier design and all that stuff that's leaked on the internet, that may not be a 2026. That might be a 2027. The fact that they're already working on it, though, who knows? Volkswagen just does what Volkswagen does. So timing-wise, I wish I could discern what's going to be different there, but I just can't. Let's see. So with that being said, I'm going to call it a wrap, guys. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate each and every one of you taking time to just sit here and watch me just blah, blah, blah down in my basement here, the studio that I've been working on for a year. And I'm moving at a snail's pace on here. You can see my TV there, my TV back over there. This one's hooked to my computer monitor. My computer's on a stand over there. And I've got more stuff back over here that I'm going to put on the walls and stuff. So this will be cool when I have a vision. I just haven't got it done yet. So, anyway, with that being said, guys, thanks a lot. Stay safe, stay healthy. Have a great evening. And until next time. Oh, and happy holidays. I'm probably going to do another one of these before the holidays, but in the meantime, happy holidays. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks, guys.